first broadcast of the brand new season brings us to the Grayson County High School Soccer Complex as the Lady Cougars take on the Lady Cards of Nelson County. And a good evening here and welcome to Nelson County High School for tonight's coverage of a doubleheader. First off, it'll be Grayson County Lady Cougars against the Lady Cards of Nelson County, and then later on tonight it'll be the Cougar Boys taking on Barron County. It is a doubleheader day. We're going to have both games for you here today. So we're excited to get rolling here on a brand new season of K105 Digital Productions. Of course, on Friday, you can't start much bigger than what we got there. It's the Tobacco Bowl between Grayson County and Edmonson County in football action. We look forward to that as well as they just rang the siren as they'll get ready to announce the starting lineups for both of these teams. For Nelson County, they enter with a 3-0 record. In fact, they won last night as they picked up a win against John Hardin 9-0. They've had a great start to the year. Wins against Mercer County, Taylor County, and John Hardin. That Taylor County win was tied 2-2 late, and they ended up jumping ahead 3-2 to pick up the win at home. Today they're going to look to move to 4-0 against the Lady Cougars, who are still looking to pick up their first win of the season. Tied last night, though, against Muhlenberg County, which was a step in the right direction. Now, the first two opponents that they played, LaRue County and Warren East, two solid teams. LaRue County always a good team in the 5th region, and Warren East always a solid team in the 4th region. Lady Cougars playing a tougher schedule early on, and Nelson County is going to fall into that category of a tougher team. Before the Lady Cougars have a big one later on this week on Thursday, they'll hit the road. They'll go to Morgantown for a game against the Lady Bears. It'll be their first district game of the year, so it's good to get the early tests get the early tests going to see how you can't do when you're going up in the games that mean the most in the long run, including that game against Butler County as far as the district matchup. Later on, we will have the Cougar Boys game, as they're 1-1 going up against a Barron County team that is also 1-1. One team will look to move to above 500, or maybe we'll just play chalk and have a tie to start the broadcast, as they're meeting the team captains right now over on the opposite side of the pitch from where we are right now. Grayson County Lady Cougars, I see Lacey Nelson in the middle of that for Grayson, one of the senior leaders on this team. Your seniors for this Grayson County team, Lacey Nelson, Emily Hall, Piper Spears are a couple of the seniors that you'll need to follow this year for Grayson County. And for Nelson County, the players you'll need to know, it starts with Ella Higdon. She has 6 goals on the year. The sophomore and another sophomore, Lacey Brown, 5 goals on the season. 4 of those, though, came last night against John Hardin. And then a senior, Avery Wilson. She has 2 goals out of the forward position. This is a talented team for the Lady Cougars to see what they can't do there. It looks like they're completing the conversation at midfield with Piper Spears, Emily Hall, and Lacey Nelson, and we get closer and closer to getting underway here in our first broadcast of the brand new year. If you're watching on the K105 YouTube channel, be sure you hit that red subscribe button so you keep track all season long, as this is the first of last year. We did, I think it was 102 broadcasts from August until the end of May. So maybe we'll do more this year, maybe we'll do less, I don't know, but that 100 number is a good one to cross, and the pipes are warmed up on this end, because I know I was on the call of, I think, all but 98, I did all but 4, I think, or maybe even less than that with that, so you get to listen to that quite often, which for some might not be the greatest thing in the world. But as far as our K105 digital production schedule, you can always go to our social media channels and find that for the entire season, as we will be here a couple of more times for the Lady Cougars. In fact, we won't be back here for them until back-to-back nights, September the 11th and September the 12th. Grayson County will host Breck and Edmondson back-to-back nights, 2 huge district games. We'll be here both those nights for them. And for the Cougar boys soccer team, we'll be back here later on the 7th of September as they'll host Marion County, and then again on the 19th of September as they'll host Butler County. We'll be with the volleyball team as well a couple of times over these next couple of weeks. I believe they open up the season. In fact, I know that they open up the regular season tonight against Apollo, as they will start at about that game will go on at 7:30 as the freshman game gets started here in a couple of minutes. and we'll be able to see them for the first time next week as they take on Whitesville Trinity. I do believe that game is 1 week from tonight, as it'll be our first chance to see them. The officials are still having the conversation at midfield, making sure they know everyone and getting everything in line. Rusty Ray is filling in, but it looks like Coach Van Meter is out there, as Rusty Ray is the associate head coach, former Lady Cougar head coach, back on the sidelines for Grayson County, helping out Bailey Van Meter, who I haven't seen her, haven't talked to her. At one point was pregnant and due around this period, and I don't know whether she has had the baby yet or not. I hadn't had the chance to talk to her. I haven't seen her yet this year. But I know Coach Ray is helping her in filling some of that void left by that. And the coach on Nelson County's side is Richard Argueta, as he is the head coach for the Lady Cards of Nelson County, coming this way out of the 5th region. Not really sure what the holdup is here, as they usually try to play a national anthem, and when that happens, usually we like to step aside, but I guess they're letting the teams give their final conversations. Maybe they're testing out their speaker to see if they're ready to roll on that far side of the pitch. I see trainer Scott Ballman, who, ironically enough, this could be called like the Trainer Scott Bowl, as he also spent a year back in 2020-21 year as the trainer for Nelson County. So this might be, I don't know if they have a trophy with his face on it or something that the winning team gets in this game, but I'm sure that Nelson County probably has at least 1 or 2 girls on their team. It's been a couple of years since Scott has been there at Nelson County, but see a familiar face, and obviously the Lady Cougar team knows him very well. As Nelson County is lined up, looks like Grayson is taking their final conversations. We do want to thank our sponsors this year. We got a couple of new ones on board to join us. Grayson County Schools, want to give them a big thanks. Future Designs Building Materials, Midway Pharmacy, those have been kind of your sponsors over these past couple of years. Want to thank Cormark for their sponsorship. Leggett and Platt as well. Owensboro Health is on board helping us bring you the best coverage that we possibly can as we get it ready. Looks like they're getting ready to announce the starting lineups and all of the national anthem and more. So what we'll do is we'll step aside and have all of the action from Grayson County and Nelson County after this, as this is Lady Cougar Soccer on K105.
What a tool! He could hit a gas line.
Wait, he's contacting 811.
They'll mark the underground utilities free.
Turns out he is smarter than he looks.
Know what's below 811 before you dig.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-8338-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Not again! You don't mess with underground power lines.
Should have contacted 811. They'll mark those utility lines free.
Yeah, but this guy ain't real bright.
Neither is the neighborhood.
Know what's below 811 before you dig.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
Welcome back here to Grayson County High School. Looks like we're about ready to roll and open up the brand new K105 Digital Productions season. As we're excited to get this ready, and hopefully you are as well. Put 40 on the clock. We are ready to roll. Grayson County and Nelson County here in soccer action. Nelson County going to start with the ball right there in the center of the pitch. It'll be Lacey Brown, who, had a pretty good day at the office last night. 4 goals against John Harden. That'll get it done. Maybe she can help out her team a little bit more tonight. But hopefully if you're Grayson County, hopefully she doesn't. And has not that 4-goal night that she did last night, because 4, that's one heck of a ball game. Getting above the hat trick. There is a ball that is somewhere in the middle of the pitch. They're having to kick it off, and it doesn't quite make it. I guess they were getting it over in case that one rolls out that they can throw it off, and we are about ready to roll. I guess our ball kids are getting into position as well. The whistle is blown, and we are underway here from Grayson County High School as it is kicked down here to the far side of the pitch, and we are getting ready. Lacey Nelson with a touch on it. Gets it back now to Nelson County. There's a number 2 here who I don't have on my roster here for the Lady Cards. The ball goes out of bounds, and it is going to head towards Nelson County on a throw-in that'll be taken by Vance. Vance to throw in. And it's Lacey Nelson with the takeaway. Gets it up here to the near side of the field. Kara Gowers sends it right back in. The Grayson County defense trying to set up. Played well last night against Muhlenberg County. And held them to a 0-0 draw. And it's going to be kicked out of bounds. And we're going to have a throw-in coming here for the Lady Cougars of Grayson. It'll be Nelson to throw in for Grayson. And she'll send it back to Taylor. And Taylor, it's kicked right back out, and we're going to have to do it one more time here. Taylor will send it back to Grayson. So we're just about a minute and a half into today's game. Lacey Nelson, the leading returning goal scorer for Grayson. She had 7 along with Alexis Henderson, who is number 6 for the Lady Cougars. Those 2 are the leading returning scorers, and it is Nelson with a potential touchdown here to the near side on the outer edge of the box. Nelson, the senior, one of the tallest players out on the pitch as well. Sliding attempt at the ball that was taken back there by Elizabeth Haycraft, who is one of the freshmen out there for Grayson, and she's got it. Touch up to Flores. Flores comes in, and a diving attempt at the ball missed, and Flores is going to keep it alive. Molly Kennedy, the keeper, came in and slid past it. It is very wet out there. We had, not a lot of rain in the last 36 hours, but it was enough that even just sitting where we are on the sideline, it is very wet. Flores falls down, and we're going to have a throw-in coming for Grayson County on the far side of the pitch. Rusty Ray going to go over and hand it off. Thrown in by Kinley Cook and immediately kicked right back out. And it's going to roll all the way down the hill. And let's see if we got another. In fact, we got another ball girl over there, and she's going to have to go grab it. And Rusty Ray, the associate head coach for Grayson, is going to run down the hill over there, and Grayson's going to have another opportunity. Was it kicked out again? No, it does stay alive. Kinley Cook's got it. Rolls in, and the ball does go out of bounds. And it's going to head towards Nelson County. Rolling up to the far side, Avery Wilson. into the middle. Nice clear by Haycraft. Haycraft's a great athlete. We saw her play middle school softball. She's got good speed and will be somebody that the Lady Cougars are really going to put a lot of faith in as a freshman and starting as their attack. In fact, I look over to the left. Superintendent for Grayson County, Doug Robinson, looks like he's in the building. Down behind the goal that Grayson County's heading towards, and that's where Elizabeth Haycraft will roll one. Flores a little bit too much on the touch and sent back the other way. Grayson is replacing multiple seniors on their team, including one of their leaders, Elizabeth Lindsay. She was in the middle of that defense for multiple years, and that is a big role that they need to replace. And it's going to be probably one of those, replacements via a committee. Because she was really good at, if anything else, knowing where everyone needed to be at the exact moment of time. And that's not something that will happen easily, and it'll be, multiple games that will take for the Lady Cougars to try and find that person, as it's been like a couple of years ago, you had Jillian Johnston who graduated. She was their leading goal scorer, and it's not like that can be one person that can fill that. We got a ball up and an opportunity coming for Lacey Brown. It'll be one-on-one, and it is into the goal. Lacey Brown gives Nelson County a 1-0 advantage, getting it past the keeper, Pierce. Brown puts it in. Her 6th goal of the season. She had 4 last night, so she's picking up where she left off. And Nelson County here with 34:57 left in the first half of play has the lead. Whistle blows, the clock begins, and we're back ready to roll here in this first half of action. Kinley Cook with it. Sliding attempt made by Haycraft. Another ball coming up through. It somehow gets through. Nelson County rolling down here towards the near side. Miss back into the middle, and it goes all the way through on the cross. Kinley Cook will chase after. Will it go out? And nope, that's where the wet of the grass out there just slowed the ball down enough, allowed for Cook to go grab it. And again, it is very wet out there. 2 players run into it. Fighting on the ground is Skaggs for Grayson, and it finally does roll out of bounds. Nelson County has the 1-0 advantage here in this game. Piper Spears playing defense there. She's one of the returning players for this Lady Cougar defense in the middle. Her older sister, Phoebe Jo, graduated last year as a senior. And the ball will head out of bounds. We have a Nelson County corner kick coming on the far side of the pitch. We are dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties. We hope we're going to get them figured out for you as soon as possible. We got a brand new crew, so bear with us as we're trying to train everyone how to do everything. Rolling in. And it's Cook playing the defense. Looks like she might have gotten, and she did. On that attempt in, Cook got just enough of it to send it back. More Nelson County fans piling in, making the trip over from Bardstown. And back rolling in. Pierce dives after and grabs it up. That's another position that Grayson County is having to replace. Allie Jo Morgan graduated last season, and she had been the keeper for a long time. She replaced Laura Vincent, who was the keeper for a long time. Pierce sends it straight up into the air, and Jaden Phillips has it for Nelson. Back to Brown. Brown puts a little too much on it, but it's going to be run down here on the near side of the floor, of the pitch, and comes right back in the middle. Molly Kennedy rolls, and it is just a little bit off to the right, and Grayson County's going to clear it off. It's going to be a throw-in taken by Vance. I think we had an illegal throw there called, and stopped by Pierce in the goal. Nelson County has it now on the far side. Taken away by McCullough for the Lady Cards. Sends one in over top of Pierce. Great goal for Nelson County. Nelson County takes a 2-0 lead here in this match. I believe that was McCullough that did put that goal in. Rolling over to the far side, cleared off by Heaven Logston for the Lady Cougars. Grayson off into the middle. Rolls here back by Spears. Nice ball up by Grayson. There was just no one there to take it, and it's picked up by the keeper. Molly Kennedy gets one of her first touches of the game. She's got it for Nelson County. Rolls all the way through, and it's picked up on the run. Grayson County's defense trying to shut it off, falling down And back into the middle, and it goes all the way through. Avery Wilson will try to get there ahead of Skaggs. She is able to. Back, and Spears is able to roll it back out, but coming in is one of the defenders for Nelson. Good touch off the arm for Nelson. Back off, and it is wide right. And we're going to have a goal kick coming for Grayson and some substitutions. Be cleared off. It'll be a goal kick. It won't be taken by the keeper. Instead, it was taken by Spears for Grayson. Ball up by Haycraft. Falling down is Haycraft, and we're going to have a whistle blown and foul called on Haycraft. Say she tugged on the Nelson County player. Over the far side, it's chased by Skaggs. And cleared off. Longston was able to do it and roll it off down the hill. Throw in coming for Reese Thompson for Nelson on that far side. Throw in Grayson. We'll get it on the far side this time. And looks like Emily Hall took control of it. Spears sends it off, tries to give it to Flores for the touch. Flores had some good moments last year as an 8th grader for Grayson County. Remember, we were here for her first career goal. If my memory serves right, it was against Breckenridge County. Foul called on Nelson County, and it'll be a kick coming for Grayson. Switch back. Spears off the chest of Elizabeth Hall. Fight for it, Jarbo for Grayson. Marion Jarbo, one of the new varsity players for this Grayson County team, getting some minutes early. Ball is checked out, and immediately a throw-in will come here for Grayson County, and who will take it? It will be Jarbo, or Marion Jarbo will give way. Instead, it'll be Taylor. It'll take a shot at it. Off into the middle of the defense, tried to clear it off. Gowers didn't get enough on it. Haycraft tries the ball up through, and we have a potential opportunity. Flores can't get there in time, though. Throw in coming. Jarbo to take for Grayson. In the middle, Spears is off the side of her foot. Because of that, it's taken here Lacey Brown. Ball up through. Rolling through, a run down underneath it. Potential chance, but cleared off by Grayson at first. The second opportunity goes wide right. Switch back. Kick coming for Grayson. Pierce, the keeper. Taken right back, and she's going to get another chance to do it as it goes right back out of bounds. Good crowd here on both sides, packing the sidelines on what it is really, I mean, for August the 15th, I'm not sure you could ask for a better evening for soccer, or really any outdoor sport. It is very, very pleasant. Now, we're looking right now 73 degrees, which, I mean, sign me up for this about year-round. Got a decently heavy breeze, and it's cloudy, but no rain and no humidity, really. Fight in the box. Avery Perkins was one of them in there for the Lady Cards. Elizabeth Hall rolls all the way through, and here comes a chance for Grayson. Speed from Haycraft leads the way. Haycraft ball up through. Flores wasn't ready for it. Can Lacey Nelson run it down? She cannot. And sends it right into some fans on the near side, and they weren't necessarily ready for it. Throw in coming. Taken by Taylor, or by Jarbo. Taylor on the touch. Logston to Spears. Spears has Brown right on her hip, and Brown, did she run it down before it went out of bounds? She did. Good play by Lacey Brown for Nelson County. Chips into the box. Almost bounces over top of Pierce, but she's able to grab up with those keeper gloves and keep the play alive. Nice kick by Pierce, bounces just past the halfway mark. Coming down, the ball rolls right towards our vantage point. Taylor has it. Back in the middle, Abigail Pennington. She's into the game. She had a knee injury. In fact, you can see that brace on her right leg that she's returning from. And she was one of the managers for the Lady Cougar basketball team last year, and she always had the brace on. And kick right out of bounds by Heaven Logston. And we're going to have some subs in here for Nelson County. And luckily, whoever the sub is, I didn't get quite a number on her on the far side. She was coming in to throw the ball in, so she literally had to take about 3 steps. Usually when you have it, and that's going to be right back out of bounds, sent by J.C. Teal for Grayson, as it was a Beal is into the game there for Nelson County. Usually you have like the dramatic run all the way, because it's usually on the opposite side of the pitch that they got to run all the way in to get to the point. Now she had to take about 3 steps, so it's pretty nice for her, just based on positioning. Molly Kennedy rolls through. Spears rolls it back. An attempt coming in, and that's a goal. What a shot by Lacey Brown for Nelson County, and they now lead 3-0. What an, I mean, that was with the right leg, able to reach it out and curl it into the bottom left pocket. Nelson has a 3-0 advantage. Nelson County has the 3-0 advantage. Here with about 18.5 left to play in the first half. Lacey Nelson shows off her speed. Nelson's been one of the mainstays over these past couple of years for Grayson. Fighting over, and it rolls out on the far side, and it looks like we're going to have a couple more subs into the game there. Looks like for Nelson County. Taylor had it after taking it away from Perkins. But Perkins sent it right back out of bounds, but it will be off first. It'll be a Grayson County throw-in. Taylor throws it right back to Vance. Pops straight up into the air and backwards. Thrown down, and we are going to have a foul called on Vance. Kicked off the chest. Trying to get there is Haycraft. Haycraft is really quick. We've touched on that a couple of times, and be one of those players that you can almost just give a chance at a run at it to see how she can show off her speed to the advantage. Into the game, looks like Emma Mattingly and Ariana McCullough for Nelson County. Rolls in, chip off wide to the right. Gonna go out of bounds, and another goal kick coming for Pierce, but Pierce might give away to Spears. And she will. Be Piper Spears to take an attempt at it. Haycraft curls around to Teal. Rolls through. Pierce picks it up on the low bounce, bobbles, and is able to grab it back. Just about 15 minutes left here in the opening half. Throw in, opposite side, Nelson. Avery Wilson, it was off hers, and it goes out, and it'll be Grayson County ball now. Throw in coming. Kinley Cook looks like to be the player to take it. And nope, she's going to give away. No, well, she dropped it and said, oh, nope, someone else wants to take it? Okay, I will. She ran back. Throw in comes back, rolls to the far side, giving chase is the keeper, Molly Kennedy. You could tell that was probably one of those that Molly Kennedy just said, well, I just want to feel like I'm in the game here. So she ran over and picked that up, and she's going to dribble it back into the middle. But in fact, it must have gone out of bounds. That's why she was going so nonchalantly, and she's going to give away to one of her teammates. And it's booted towards the middle. Off of Jarbo. going to have out of bounds off of Nelson on the far side. Chance coming here for Grayson as the throw-in comes on the far side. Or actually it'll be a kick. It was a foul called. Kick sends in off the back of the leg of Flores, and here comes the run for Nelson. Spears sends it back. And it'll roll out of bounds just in front of the speaker on the far side. Throw-in going to be taken here by Beal for Nelson County. She wastes no time, sends it off. And throw-in coming for the Lady Cards, taken one more time by Beal. And it rolls off, and is it going to go down the hill? It will not. It just kind of stops. Luckily, the ball kid who is running on the far side with the ball for Grayson had to run down the hill a couple of times, and luckily didn't have to go do it again because I think she was down the hill when the next one went out. Comes through, rolls through, gives it off, and it is picked up by Pierce. Shot was taken by Avery Perkins. 3-0. Lady Cards on top of Grayson. Kinley Cook to take the throw in for Grayson. Rolls through, but immediately cleared back out. Reese Thompson chips the run underneath for Perkins, and she can't get there in time before it rolls out. A couple more subs in here for Nelson County. Looks like Virginia Jewell is one of the players. And the other one hasn't turned around to give me her number. Might be Madison Votaw, number 7. And if you're hearing in the background, yes, that is a dog. There is a dog here tonight. It might be barking the park night. And it's making sure to let everyone know that she's here. Rolling in, Pierce dives after. And I'm not complaining. You gotta love a good old dog. Pierce off into the air. Haycraft, but Flores back to Haycraft. Rolls off to the middle. Kinley Cook rolling and out of bounds. Grayson couldn't set up their set piece. Try and look for what would be their first goal of the season. This is game number 4. They've played some talented teams. After drawing last night 0-0 against Muhlenberg County. Lacey Nelson set to check in at the next stoppage for the Lady Cougars. Spears splitting the defenders, though, is the Nelson County player. Coming through, weaving, chipping, right side. Pierce dives, and did she get there? She did not. 4-0 Nelson County as she went diving after, and I couldn't tell whether she was able to make the stop or if it went through. And it went through her arms down here into this near pocket, and it's 4-0. Nelson County has the lead. 8:32 left here in this half. Come up the far side. Ball sent through. Spears there to pick it up. Too much on the touch. Sends it off and hits the turf. That very well could have been it just being so wet out there, as it is a lot wetter. In fact, I'm looking down at my shoes and saying, oh my goodness, shoes are very muddy down. I hadn't realized they were quite as muddy as they are. As I know when I got here, I was expecting it to be maybe a little damp, but not quite as wet as it is. Into the box on the touch, and did we have a handball? I believe we did. It is. I believe we had a handball called against Grayson County in the box. It is. So a handball called against Grayson. That'll turn into a penalty kick. Now here for Nelson County. Penalty kick coming for Nelson. One-on-one with the keeper. And it is into the back of the net. Goal for Nelson County. They take a 5-0 advantage. And his goal is scored by Avery Wilson, this senior, on the penalty kick opportunity. 5-0. Nelson has the lead. 7:13 left here in the first half. Some subs in. Grayson switching up their defense. They're going to send Taylor back on defense now and switch around some as Skaggs switches as a right back now. Taylor comes in as a left back for the defense. Flores tried to hurry up on it. And a roll out of bounds, throw in Grayson. And it'll be taken on that far side by Eileen Skaggs. To Flores, back into the middle. Haycraft fights and rolls through. Nelson County's attempt to clear is not there as Haycraft comes onto the outer edge of the box. It's one of Grayson County's better offensive opportunities here. Lacey Nelson being checked backwards. She's shoved, and we're going to have a free kick coming for Grayson, and this is a good opportunity. Nelson had the hand in her back on the defensive positioning, and it'll be taken by Logston. I'm surprised they're making her take that far back. Thought it should have been a little bit closer. Logston into the box, rolls up into the air. Haycraft tried to get her leg up high enough. Couldn't get there, and the set piece doesn't work for Grayson. The scoreboard says 4-0. I believe it is 5-0, so we'll have to double check on that. Throw in Nelson. Rolls through off the head of Heaven Logston. Chasing through, and it goes out. We're going to have a throw in coming for Nelson. They're going to quickly move. I like the pace that Nelson County plays with. You know, they're always in a rush to try and get the throw in going as quick as possible. Haycraft. Rolls through to Flores. Quickly double teamed, and that's another thing Nelson County, they're really good at about immediately coming with defensive help. think did we have offsides called against Grayson? No, a foul called against Nelson. Another free kick coming for Grayson. Be taken by Logston. Logston sends it into the box. It's off the head and deflected. Nelson rolls it in, and it's going to be off of a Nelson County player, and a corner kick will come for Grayson. Lacey Nelson hurries down into the corner. See if Grayson will take their attempt at a quick corner. She's looking for a ball. Let's see how Grayson can do on a corner kick set piece. Rolls in. Throw in Grayson. Heaven Logston will quickly take. Sends straight up into the air and out. Logston, another throw. She tried to roll it into Nelson. It goes all the way through and goes out of bounds off of... Is it still alive or not? It is not still alive. I thought Nelson thought it was for a second, and nobody really stopped, and I think everyone was kind of confused. Kick coming for the Lady Cards. Haycraft receives it for Grayson. And it's kicked out of bounds by Vance. Rolls off into the inside. Haycraft, she tried to find some help, and there was just nobody there, so she just had to kick it out. Right in front of Superintendent Doug Robinson, and I guess it didn't end up going out. So it's kicked off into the air for Nelson. Just under 2 minutes left here in the first half of play. Lacey Brown sends off the leg of Spears on the inside. Brown back into the middle. An opportunity coming off of Pierce. Still alive. It bounces around. Great save by Pierce, though. Second chance coming in. A third one off the head of a Lady Cougar. And the defense holds up for Grayson. Started off with Pierce just getting her hand in on stopping a hard shot in. Rolls through Nelson, hurries up, but Nelson County gets there first off of Vance. Throw in coming for Lacey Nelson. Haycraft. Off to that far side. Beal. And Lady Cougar hits the deck. Beal just keeps on dribbling past her as we're in the closing seconds of the first half. The scoreboard here at Grayson County says 4-0. I believe it is 5-0. We'll have to check, though, at the half. As it comes rolling in, and that should be the half. Are we going to keep playing? No, we will not. At the half, Grayson County trails Nelson County. We'll take a break, come back with more as this is Lady Cougar Soccer on KY.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-8338-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Not again. You don't mess with underground power lines.
Should have contacted 811. They'll mark those utility lines free.
Yeah, but this guy ain't real bright.
Neither is the neighborhood.
Know what's below 811 before you dig.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
What a tool. He could hit a gas line.
Wait, he's contacting 811.
They'll mark the underground utilities free.
Turns out he is smarter than he looks.
Know what's below 811 before you dig.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-8338-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Not again. You don't mess with underground power lines.
Should have contacted 811. They'll mark those utility lines free.
Yeah, but this guy ain't real bright.
Neither is the neighborhood.
Know what's below 811 before you dig.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
What a tool. He could hit a gas line.
Wait, he's contacting 811.
They'll mark the underground utilities free.
Turns out he is smarter than he looks.
Know what's below 811 before you dig.
Welcome back here to Grayson County High School, where it is 5-0. Nelson County leads the Lady Cougars at the half as we get ready for the second half of action. We are dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties. Our main camera has decided that it doesn't want to work tonight, so we're having to adapt and overcome. So we're having to run a camera on the ground, which is why you don't have your sky camera that you're usually used to, as it's having a bad day, which aren't we all sometimes? So it's just having one of those days. There's no question about that. So we get ready to start half number 2. And we are underway here in half number 2. Looks like we have a new keeper into the game for Nelson County. Grayson County does have Pierce back out there as we're underway here. 5-0, Nelson has the advantage. Lady Cards defeated John Harden last night. They're looking to pick up their second big win, and it's in many nights. Grayson County had a tie against Muhlenberg. Lady Cougars still looking for their first goal of the season. And we have a foul called. And a kick coming. And an injury. And I missed it on where the injury is, as it looks like it's right here for Grayson County. It looks like it might be Summer Flores. And she is down on a knee in front of us. Trainer Scott is out there to check on her. It happened away from the play, and she's going to be helped off the field now. Hopefully she's okay. She's one of the future players of this Grayson County team. And she's walking off gingerly. It had to have been like I know, and I say non-contact, meaning it's obviously there's no contact in soccer, but more is what I mean by that is like it wasn't like she went to kick or something. Is she clearly must have just landed the wrong way or rolled her ankle or something. She's walking off on her own power, but relatively gingerly, as Trainer Scott is probably going to take her over to his training table over on the opposite side near the scoreboard. And it's kicked off, and we're back underway. Rolls in. Pierce is going to run and pick it up on the roll. Grayson County has a big district game coming up later on this week as they will go to Butler County. For Nelson, they'll get to turn their attention towards a home match against Henry County. That'll be tomorrow. In fact, they have 4 straight games this week. And then they'll host Whitefield Academy on Thursday. Henry County, that's up in the up on 71, just before you get to like Carrollton here. So it's kind of in between Louisville and Carrollton. There'll be a team making the trip down to Nelson County for that one. Rolls down to the near side. Got a couple of players into the game for Nelson County that are on my roster. We'll try to bring those to you as we can. Jaden Phillips with the touch, rolls in, cleared off by Grayson. Logston didn't get a great send on it. Nelson slips in the wet grass. We mentioned that earlier if you just joined us. We had it was a decently heavy rain shower last night at, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe about 8 or 9 o'clock, something. And I don't know that it's rained since then, but it is still, if you would have dropped me in the turf and said, hey, when's the last time it rained? As it sends over top, Pierce is able to watch it fly out of bounds, though. I would have guessed it was a lot more recent than about 24 hours ago, because the grass is still very muddy and very wet. Because that, it hasn't had a major impact, but we have seen a couple of balls slow down, and we have seen a couple of players slip, and I'm not sure if that was the case. In fact, I look over, Flores is no longer sitting by trainer Scott Ballman, so hopefully that is a good sign that she is okay. And it very well could have just been one of those, she planted the wrong way, rolled her ankle, and needs a couple of minutes to relax. Rolling through, opportunity, Pierce dives after and is able to grab it on the low bounce. 5-0, Grayson County trails Nelson County. Remember, this is a doubleheader. The Cougar boys soccer team will take on Barron County. 7 o'clock is what time that game is scheduled. Might end up being a little bit later, though. Maybe more like 7:15, depending on what time this matchup gets underway. And for both of these, they would be, no extra time or no penalty kicks or anything, since it's not a district game. Good sign here. Summer Flores is coming back in. And it's definitely a good sign. Sends up, Logston can't get a hold of it. And it'll roll out, but it'll be on the far side of the flag, and a corner kick coming for the Lady Cards. And looks like it will be taken by McCullough. Lacey Nelson playing close up on defense. Nelson's got good height. She's the tallest player on the Lady Cougar team. Chips in, rolls through, and it is going to go out of bounds, and it is going to be out off of Grayson. So another corner will come as Piper Spears was playing the defense against Lacey Brown. It looks like Spears was the last player to make contact with it. Comes down towards the near side, Nelson. Rolls up, and Pierce off her hands, and on the deflect, it is into the back of the net, or rolls across the line. It doesn't end up hitting the net. Is it a goal or not? I believe it might have been offsides was the call instead. It was. Offsides called against the Lady Cards. That's in that far corner where it is tough for us to really get a good angle on it. Rolls off into the middle. And ball heads out, and I believe this will turn into a goal kick for Grayson. Pearson and Spears have kind of switched off as to who takes the goal kick. Looks like it will be Spears this time. A look ahead at our K105 schedule on Friday evening. The Grayson County football team opens up the brand new season as they will head down to Brownsville. So they'll take on Edmonson County in the Tobacco Bowl on Friday evening. Winner will take the tobacco stick. Grayson County looking for their 5th straight win in the series. Our coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. on K105 radio station and also right here on K105 Digital Productions. You can also download the K105 app and listen that way. Weaving through, rolling off. Nice touchdown into the near side. Crying across, and too much. Goes out. But you can join us from that game as we'll have the coverage from Brownsville in what is a fantastic rivalry between Grayson and Edmonson. Our crew will have it for you. And next week we'll be at volleyball. The Lady Cougar volleyball team hosts Whitesville Trinity in what will be their first district game of the season, taking on a team that was picked to win the region. Pierce goes and dives after sliding down to the knee. About 8 minutes into this second half. Avery Wilson going up against Jarbo on the far side. Comes up, kicked out by Logston. Nice job by the official to stop it from, a couple of things there is, one, almost hitting and rolling down the hill, but also Mr. Spirit standing over there. We got to make sure that Mr. Spirit is not hit. Because I think whoever hit that would have to be at least -1 point. I don't get to make those rules, but I think that's one that everyone can agree to. Rolls through, and it's still alive on the inside. Comes through, Pierce punches it out. Couple of subs in for Nelson. Alive on the inside of the box. Sends off, and there, nice defense on the interior by Logston. Might have paid the price for it. She came up limping a little. Appears that she is okay, and now Spears has it down the near side, and that's not bad just to kick it out of bounds there. Let your defense set back up, because having Logston used her body to make sure that one didn't go in, helping out her keeper, Pierce. Sends into the back of the net. Goal for Nelson County. believe that one was put in by Avery Wilson. And it's 6-0. Nelson leads here with 29:33 left in the first half, or the second half of play. Grayson trails 6-0. Here just under 30 minutes left in the match against the Lady Cards of Nelson County. Roll it back to the keeper who's into the game. Again, that is a new keeper for Nelson County. Throw in for Virginia Jewell. Rolls up, and I hear a bus behind me. I would assume that that would be Barron County. As yes, in fact it is. Barron County, who is game number 2, has arrived. We'll have that game here as well. Bounce off over top of the goal, it'll head. And a goal kick comes for Grayson County. Almost a handball for Grayson as Jarbo reached out, and about halfway through reaching her hand out, realized that she can't use the hand. You could tell that it was just, sometimes it is second nature to use your hands in that regard. As the ball went rolling towards her, Lacey Nelson sends it right off of a Nelson County player. Did it come back and hit her? Does it look like it did? More subs in here. Including a new defender in for Grayson County. Laura Wildman, the junior. Skaggs switches to the opposite side of the field to defend against the Lady Cards. (6-0) Nelson on top. Throw in by Lacey Nelson on the far side. Far side, it rolls out of bounds. Corner kick coming, Nelson. Rolls into the box, sent straight up into the air, hitting the deck and laying down pretty hard was Jewell. Appears she's okay. You can tell that was one of those quick, like, let's see if I can't sell the foul on the inside. Rolling in with a left foot. Smith tried to send it in, but Pierce had it. Off and into the back of the net. Fools Pierce on the inside. That was put in by number 22, who I do not have on my roster for Nelson County. Lady Cards up 7-0 with about 25 minutes left in the game. Summer Flores, who left with an injury earlier, is back in. And Emily Hall is going to check out for Grayson. In for her will be Piper Spears. Flores being surrounded by Lady Card defenders. Logston sends it off. Grayson doesn't have anybody down there to go grab it, though. Nelson County defense has not really done anything, and I'm not even sure there's been an attempt on goal today for the Lady Cougs. Couple of subs in here for Nelson, including Votal and also Tamburo. Throw-in comes at the midfield line. Hitting the deck hard, and we are going to have a foul called on Grayson. Rusty Ray pleading the case to the official, saying he didn't think it was a foul. Avery Perkins probably going to show a bruise or something that might say something different. I think Rusty Ray's explanation was that she got tackled by the turf monster, which gets the best of us all sometimes. In off of Pierce. Luckily, one of our defenders on the inside, Wildman, was able to stop it from going into the goal. And a corner coming. Looks like McCullough will take it for Nelson County. McCullough sends in, headed right back to her, and it ends up out of bounds, and we'll do it one more time. I think Wildman was one that said, hey, nope, you take this again. This time they try a different set piece. Sent in over top of the head of Wildman, goes all the way through to the opposite side, kicking it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for Nelson County. Throw-in will be taken by Kara Gowers, the junior. Pops out in the corner for Nelson on that far side. Nelson comes through into the middle. It's kicked out, and one more corner will come. Here's Jarbo. Went off of her foot and out of bounds. Pops into the air, headed back out by Logston. Here comes a chance for Grayson. Can they do something with it? Haycraft being chased by multiple defenders. She tried to ball up to Flores. It was just a little bit behind her, though, and couldn't do anything. And ball goes out of bounds off of J.C. Teal. Flores tried to get there. Ran out of real estate. And advantage was played at first. And a foul is going to be called on Nelson County. Free kick taken by J.C. Teal for the Lady Cougs. And can Grayson set something up? I'd like to see him maybe pull up some of the defense on this. Logston over top of her head as she went diving after. And she is able to catch back up and kicks it and rolls it right in front of Mr. Spirit, who bends down, grabs it, and he's going to hand it off to the official. Mr. Spirit might deserve a raise after this. I'm sure that's exactly what he's telling the official right now as well. Carrick Hours will be the player to take the throw in. Mr. Spirit got sick of holding it. I guess he pretty much said, I don't get paid enough to hold it. So he just threw it right back on the ground. And it kicks off and it is out on, I guess it was off of a Lady Cougar, so another corner will come. It's good to see Mr. Spirit back out here as he has been battling some illnesses. And if you're a Nelson County fan watching, you might not know who we're talking about when we talk about Mr. Spirit. If you're a Grayson County fan, that's all you need to say. If you live in this area, if you live in this region, he is, an argument could be made, the most recognizable man in Grayson County and in this region as far as people just know who he is. And during football games, basketball games, and occasionally you'll see him come out here for the soccer and volleyball games wearing the big orange hat. And when I say it's a big orange hat, it is a foam cowboy hat. It's one of those massive ones that you almost like win at an amusement park or something. And there's only one man that can pull it off, and that man is Mr. Spirit. Our camera operator today, Eli Smith, once tried, and it just didn't work. It didn't work, and we had to tell him, saying that the foam cowboy hat that's been taken. So luckily, Mr. Spirit instead will be the one to wear to do that, to keep with it, and Spears does not keep it from going out of bounds. As it goes from our vantage point right now, that is being blocked by a round of chairs, so we couldn't tell whether she saved it or not. A couple players get tangled up, and Spears knocks down Votal. And a free kick coming. And again, Nelson wastes really no time. So it'll be McCullough to take it. Over top of the wall. And it goes all the way through, and I don't think anybody touched it. It's going to turn into a goal kick, Grayson. But it is definitely good. In fact, Mr. Spirit, I'm not sure if he had a chair that he brought or somebody has brought a chair for him. He is now sitting down, which is good to see. And he is, but for the Nelson County fans that don't know, Mr. Spirit is former athletic director here at the high school for a long time. He was the first ever athletic director here at Grayson County High School. And just means a whole lot to the people. He is at everything. Right now his job title is the activities director for Grayson County, and his role in that realm, if you ask him, is seeing the kids off when they go play, but also seeing them when they get home and sending it over top. So what he does is, looks like we might have a new keeper coming in for Nelson County. And if the numbers are accurate, it will be Ella Higdon to be the keeper for Nelson County. I like the all pink. A different look there. I'm a fan. And that's one thing I like about keepers, is that they can wear really whatever color that they want, as long as it's different than the jersey that their team is wearing or the other team. So usually you're never going to see a keeper in all white. And for the Lady Cougars, they'd never see a keeper in all navy, because those are usually the two colors that they will wear. But you could do all orange. We've got pink out there right now. I like it. And Higdon's going to come in. She's going to say, I'm going to put my name in the book right away and kick it right back off. But Mr. Spirit, He is whenever. So if this game, for instance, was at Nelson County tonight, and the Lady Cougars would leave after this game and come home, and let's say it was a 7 o'clock Eastern time start, and the Lady Cougars would get back at 10 o'clock. We'll just say that. He would be there, waiting outside the bus, as he says, to give them all a hug, whether the final score was Grayson County, 25-0, or the other team 25-0. He knows that he wants to support the kids and love them, and every school needs that. But you can't have ours. Is kind of what we say. He's a great man, and it's good to see him back as he's been dealing with some illnesses, battling cancer. He lost his wife in the last year, and it's really good to see him in his perch underneath the scoreboard. Here come the Lady Cougs. Elizabeth Haycraft comes and weaves through. And it's sent out of bounds, and Grayson will get a throw in. "14 minutes remaining in the game. Heaven Logston kicks it out, and hopefully all the fans are okay. It's one thing about sitting up there close. We've had one or two come into our broadcast vantage point here, as there is no press box or bird's eye or crow's nest or anything that we get in. We're sitting down here with the fans. And we got to be ready, too. We've had one or two come flying in here. That's why we got the K105 Digital Productions crew. Their job is to protect me. Eli Smith turns around and gives a thumbs up. Usually he's on the other side of the field, though, because our main camera will usually work. And tonight it is decided it didn't want to. If you want, you can blame Eli. That's fine. Or you can blame me, or you can blame our other guy tonight, who I forget his name. Trey Cook. In fact, I do want to say, and we can make sure that we do this through, is there's a ball up through. Flores couldn't get there in time as it bounces around. Thought maybe a potential chance for Grayson. Flores has it. Let's see what might come up of it. Flores spins around. She splits the defenders. She's got a trailer with her, and it's taken back and rolling down here towards the near side. She had J.C. Teal running with her, and it'll go out, and a throw-in will come. But I do want to make sure that we say happy early birthday to one Alex C. Cook, former K105 Digital Productions crew member. I'm sure he's locked in and watching tonight, and he turns 18 tomorrow. 18 years young, Mr. Alex C. Cook, former crew member, and the older brother of your director tonight, Trey Cook, turning 18 tomorrow. So if you see him out at good old WKU, make sure you wish him happy birthday, because I'm sure he's locked in and watching tonight. Rolls in, and Higdon on the bounce. Grayson sends it back. Pops up Beal. The clouds have really disappeared throughout the game. At least they're very much there over behind the goal that Nelson County is heading towards. But it's wild when you look straight ahead, as there's another one heads right into the fans, and somebody had to put up their hands to stop it. As when you look straight ahead and off to the right, there's the one really big cloud that is directly almost to our south. But other than that, it's kind of cleared up, and we can kind of feel it. The sun is behind us, and we can feel it when how less cloudy it is, because the sun keeps hitting us in the back. But right now it feels pretty nice because the sun is behind the cloud. Throw in by Beal as we approach the 10-minute mark of this game. rolls over to the far side, and it is going to go out of bounds on the right side of the flag. It's going to be a throw-in. One of those that the official had to stand there and really watch intently. Because, I mean, depending on which side it goes out on is whether it be a corner or something. In fact, I see here that Ethan Hall, former Lady Cougar, or former, not, he's not a Lady Cougar star, he's a former Cougar football star, and the older brother of Lady Cougar star Emily Hall, says here he's locked in and watching that his birthday's going to be on Thursday. So happy early birthday to you, Mr. Ethan Hall, and I'm sure, knowing Ethan, there's nothing that he'd like to celebrate his birthday anymore than a Cougar win in the Tobacco Bowl on Friday against Edmonson County. I'm sure I can speak for him in saying that. Haycraft comes through for Grayson. Ball up through. Potential chance for Grayson. And offside. Oh, Kane was just a little bit too much off. I want to thank Casey Kennedy, who's watching with us too on YouTube. Appreciate you locked in and watching. We apologize that our main camera isn't working today, as we forgot to, I guess, feed the hamster that powers it, and feeling a little lazy. First game of the season, we didn't wake him up in time. And we're trying to see if we can't, maybe our director, Trey Cook, who just bit into a brownie, maybe he'll share some of it to the hamster, and it'll get it to work for our second game of the day against Barron County. Comes up, bounces around. And, ooh, it might have hit off the head of Haycraft on the inside. And she keeps on rolling, though. Nelson County wanted a handball. Official doesn't call it, or at least it didn't happen. As the hand was up, I don't know if contact was made or not. And sends up, rolls out. Kevin Embry, the defensive coordinator for the football team, stuck his foot out to try and stop it before going down the hill, but it does roll down. I do see Ethan writes in and says that he does agree that what he wants for his birthday is the Cougs picking up a win in the Tobacco Bowl on Friday against Edmonson County that you'll be able to watch right here on the K105 Digital Productions channels. It'll be myself and the former Cougar quarterback, Kaylor Decker, bringing you all of the action from Brownsville as the Cougar football team looks to open up 1-0. And for them, it's interesting. They're in a brand new district for football. In fact, the Cougar football team a couple of years ago played Nelson County. They were supposed to play them again, but that was the COVID year, and that game got COVID canceled. That was, though, in that period at the end of that 2020 football season where everything was getting canceled. And it just so happened that the Grayson County team, or the Grayson County Nelson County game, was one of those casualties to the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, I see over on the Cougar football field, in fact, right now, I'm assuming that's Barron County that is warming up on the field that is out. Not sure if you can see it on your camera or not. It doesn't quite look like you can quite pick it up. But if you see some masses out there in the football field, there they are. They're out there. Those little blurbs out there are the Barron County soccer team that's warming up for game number 2, as we got about 6.5 minutes left in this game. Lacey Brown rolls off, and it goes in. Brown sends it in, and it is put in by number 22, who's not on the roster for Nelson County, but makes it 8-0. The Lady Cards have the lead. Well, make sure you subscribe to that K105 YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the action from all season long, as we're here, like I said earlier, about 100 games a year. Is that we broadcast soccer, volleyball, football, basketball, softball, baseball, a little bit of everything. Maybe even esports. I'm saying, Grayson County, I've said I wanted to do some play-by-play of some Mario Kart, but heck, I don't even know that I could bring myself to do some play-by-play of Mario Kart. I might have to throw down the headset and get the controller, and I'll take down anybody I would have given myself the state championship if they would have had esports back when cavemen roamed the earth back when I was in high school. Back about almost 10 years ago. It's a long time ago. Bounces to over top of the head of Addison Kane. Comes out, wind starting to pick up. It's been kind of an off and on windy day. Lady Cougar defense has played better in the second half, and I think that they, if Rusty Ray and Bailey Van Meter want a positive from this, it would be that. I think the defense has made a step forward in the second half. They just gotta find a way to put a goal in the back of the net. It's as simple, yet it's hard to do. And that'll be one of the things. It'll come. Rolls through, pops into the air, and Ava Pierce goes over and picks it up. Slides down and grabs it. And she immediately called off. She might be setting up something on her own. Drops the kick into the air, and very potentially could have been some contact behind. Called on the Lady Cards. No whistle, though, with about 4.5 left. Over to the far side, it was sent, and a run down under it. Back into the box, Pierce right into her hands. It was a great rip by, I think it was Ashlyn Vance. About 4 minutes left. Comes through, up and in, headed back out by Hall. Comes up and over top of the goal. About 3 minutes left. Nelson County appears to be on their way to picking up the win. Again, they have a couple more games this week, which is probably why we've seen them be aggressive with some substitutions, especially in the keeper position, as tomorrow they'll host Henry County. That'll be a 7:30 Eastern time start. And on Thursday, they'll host Whitefield Academy before heading to Lincoln County on Saturday. It'll be a Saturday morning game, good old in the land of the Patriots down there in Lincoln County. Good friend from college is from that area, was a football star for them. Got a kick coming for Grayson. And it will be taken by, actually, is there an injury? Rusty Ray is coming out onto the field, is coming off now as Addison Kane. And maybe she did get a miss as to what potentially might have happened to her. The kick coming, though, will be taken by Logston. Bounces off. Can Haycraft get there ahead of the Nelson County player? Falling down, and Haycraft's got it. Can Grayson maybe turn this into something? Haycraft chips into the box off the chest of Beal. And it comes through, and the ball's heading in. Luckily, the Nelson County fans protected us that time. I could see our director, Trey Cook. He got a little nervous there because he saw it coming. Throw in Grayson. Caitlin Morgan rolls it in. But see, what he didn't realize is it smacks off the side of Haycraft. Is it had been coming towards me before it would have been coming towards him, and I don't know. It'd have been, yeah. We'd I'm not sure that our camera operator, Eli Smith, would have jumped over to grab it. He'd have let it hit me, probably. Under a minute left in the game. Nelson County will pick up the win for the Lady Cougs. They have a big game coming up on Thursday as they'll travel to Morgantown to take on Butler County, as Logston did a good job sending it into the box. And then they'll host Muhlenberg County, a team that they just tied with last night on Monday here at Grayson County High School. We'll be back with them on September the 11th and 12th, back-to-back nights as they'll take on Breck and Edmondson. As it comes through and over to that far side, trying to keep it alive as Lacey Brown chips it off and over. And as it begins to roll out, we'll want to make sure we thank our sponsors, Grayson County Schools, Future Designs Building Materials, Midway Pharmacy, Coremark. There's a nice diving save by Pierce. Leggett and Platt, Owensboro Health as well. Want to thank our sponsors as the zeros are on the scoreboard, and Nelson County picks up the win by a final score of 8-0. And the Lady Cougars are 0-3-1. Nelson County moves now to a perfect 4-0. They're off to a great start this year, looking to keep it rolling when they take on Henry County tomorrow. That'll wrap up our coverage, though, from game number 1 of our doubleheader. We'll be back here soon. I'm not really sure how much time that they're going to put on the clock in between these two games. So we will wait and hopefully be back maybe in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes or so as the Cougar soccer team will take on Barron County. And if you're watching on YouTube, luckily for you, you don't have to do a thing. It should automatically transition into the next game. You'll just be able to sit there and wait for us to rejoin you. I want to thank our K105 Digital Productions crew for their hard work, Eli Smith and Trey Cook. So for them, on a night where the Lady Cougars fall 8-0, this is Sam Gormley saying, so long, everyone.